Hello and welcome to the Bankers Tech Talk video series, looking at all things fintech. You can watch previous episodes of the series on thebanker.com/techtalks. I'm Joy Macknight, Managing Editor of The Banker, and I'm joined by Jonathan Thompson, CEO and founder of bNorth, which aims to launch a challenger bank focused specifically on the small and medium-sized enterprises. Jonathan, thanks so much for joining me.
Joy, it's a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you.
So there's been a lot of criticism around the UK government's coronavirus business interruption loan scheme. What really are the pain points that SMEs are facing today?
In essence, it's important to look at the last 10 years of banking. So since the last global financial crisis in 2008, 2009, banks have effectively been reducing their costs in a bid to rationalize their cost-income ratio, and that's in SMEs terms resulted in them reducing the amount of frontline coverage teams that they have serving SMEs in the UK. And that's gone alongside a technology revolution which has empowered certain elements of finance provision, particularly though focused on retail and micro business finance and more unsecured lending. But in the heartland of SMEs, for where CBILS is trying to really be effective, the absence of those frontline teams and the fact that they haven't been replaced by anything as an alternative has left a bit of a vacuum. In fact, many SMEs nowadays are relationship managed through a contact center, which is fine for day-to-day and very vanilla banking transactions, but less so for more complex requirements. And CBILS is definitely falls into the complex area, and it's quite difficult to deliver in the absence of deep frontline expertise.
So Jonathan, what do SMEs need today, and what should banks be doing to really help them?
A lot of lending relies on applying very linear assumptions to the analysis of risk within a bank, whereas SMEs go on this sort of quite complex organic growth trajectory. So they don't generally have 3 years of clear turnover and profit growth. They'll have a great year, then they'll have a challenging year, and then they'll have another good year and an average one. And as a lending banker, the lending banker needs to understand that and to be able to meet with the business and hear that story firsthand from the entrepreneur and get under the skin of the business and how it operates and what its drivers are. The management and the entrepreneur behind an SME is key in its success. So the ability to meet with and form a relationship with the borrower, particularly for more material amounts of finance, that might be secured finance of £500,000 plus, is absolutely critical. So if the entrepreneur, the business owner, is pledging the keys to the warehouse or security to the bank, they want to be able to meet the bank and have that relationship. Likewise, as a banker, the bank wants to be able to meet with the management team, the entrepreneur, him or herself, and really get under the skin of the business and understand what the success drivers are within that SME. And that means having experienced, empowered frontline bankers who are lending experts effectively at the front line of banks. And I think over the past 10 years, that sort of deep expertise and that tradition of lending expertise in particular has been eroded over time. And at bNorth, that's what we're trying to address. We're effectively taking a superior cloud-native banking platform, which allows us to deliver very quickly, but overlaying on that an understanding ear and people at the front line of our business who can form those relationships and really help us to get under the skin of the requirements of a business from its bank, particularly in the context of borrowing, and to tailor our support to the specific requirements of the SME. So we take effectively the agility of a digital bank with the deep expertise that is normally reserved for lending to larger corporates.
So you recently chose TruNarrative to do your onboarding process. How did that regtech company really stand out for you?
We've got a carefully vetted technology stack in our business. TruNarrative will fulfill a small element of that, but it's a critical element in that we require access to top tier and onboarding and compliance capabilities, and TruNarrative absolutely gives us that. But it also is good for our customers. It allows us to have very smooth customer journeys throughout our business. Our aim is to take what is traditionally a a 4-month process of completing a lending application for an SME. So that's time from initial conversation to a drawn loan facility, and compress that significantly to within a matter of a few weeks. And to do that, we need to be able to have the best of breed technology that allows us to make quick, highly informed decisions about onboarding, but also about credit underwriting and other essential areas of appraisal of an SME. TruNarrative brings together a number of bureau and information sources to allow us to make highly informed decisions on the onboarding and of a new client to BNorth, but also to deliver very clearly on our compliance obligations, and that's critical from a regulatory perspective. So we're delighted with that partnership. They sit alongside our partnership with Encino and Mambu and ClearBank and other leading cloud-native software providers to form the basis of our business.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining this series, Jonathan.
Super. Thank you, Joy. It's been a pleasure.